Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits only temporarily those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much-needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
Together, run, keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just as I and I as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace while wrong is going on. Hey, oh, we gotta bash down Babylon walls, preparing the way, preparing the way for your people. Let's go! Fight down, war and cry, fight down, me say Rastafari, war and cry, and do the up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, and we love Jah, we love Jah, we love Jah, Rastafari, preserve our people. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. Just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I and I should never hold thy peace, while we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way, prepare the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and fight down war and fight. Rastafari, war and fight, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. And we love Jah, me love Jah, me love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. Me love Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight, and then DJ Twink.
Some literally have gone crazy. Others are playing hypocrisy. Dr. Tufton has now become the minister for turning, while Donald Trump is still executing Caribbean fishermen in Caribbean waters. Good morning and welcome to Global TV. Thank you all for joining us this morning. It is your program, At a Glance. To my community of parity and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning. Welcome. It shall be a wahala this morning. Call the PNP, call the labor right them, call factories, call everybody. Because we have so much to go through this morning. I was absent last night because I have a headache yesterday, which I tried to sleep off, and I eventually did not wake up. But I am back here this morning. We're back in the trenches, because it's war. Andrew Holness declared it, and we have put our foot in it. Call Anthony Hilton with it. And call Rosemary Shaw. Me show you how PNP play hypocrisy with this morning. Cause you know say me not depend on nobody side, don't? You know say me not depend on nobody side. Cause me not in the long game. It take too long for take side. It takes too long to take side. It's much a shorter journey, whipping and lashing them as you go along. Debbie Jervis TV, good morning and welcome. Laverne, good morning. Good morning. Marcia Thomas, Lynette Jenkins, good morning. Sim, welcome. Wagwan, how you do? Empress Deb, good morning. Ladybug, good morning. Karen Namad, Duane Morris, good morning. Abinasa Cody, how you do? Zanette Beckford, good morning. Wayne Evans, good morning everyone. Miranda Ruddock, the Unstoppable One, good morning. Welcome everyone. Who we are going to start on this morning? Let's get Donald Trump out of the way. We have to highlight you as to the happenings within the region. Because you would remember when our Prime Minister was asked the question in South Africa by the Bloomberg reporter, his answer basically gave the green light to Donald Trump in the summary execution that Donald Trump is carrying out
Saint
in
Lucia, PS.
every fisherman life in the Caribbean is at risk of Donald Trump and his international Gestapos. This call for concern for the entire Caribbean. Fishing is a livelihood for the Caribbean. And Donald Trump is going around lawlessly and mercilessly murdering people, murdering fishermen in the Caribbean. What? And our government are cheating it so silent. Our leaders in the Caribbean are treating it so silent. Andrew Holness, in his answer to Bloomberg in, I think, November, rather be November, December, which one of them, literally gave Donald Trump a green light. He quoted nothing about the international violations. He quoted nothing about the risk to his own country fishermen. Everybody is at risk now. We look a livelihood pan the sea, mash up now. We can't fish further than what we need. Because if we go further than we need, Donald Trump to go shoot with down pan waters. And our leaders are very silent about it. The people in our country are very silent about it. So America, if you kill we have to listen, if it's because of these are indefinite, them are going to do whatever they want to do with me. Them something they can't stop me from have a voice. If they no want give me, no give me. If you want take it back, take it back. It doesn't mean though I'm going to suffer in silence. And also if you go, the slaves, the enslaved never suffer in silence. The least little chance they get them track matches. The least little chance they get them track matches on the plantation. Let's listen to the article that we did on this, and we'll come back on the other side.
St. Lucia PM confirms lives lost in U.S. Caribbean drug strike, raising critical questions about international law compliance. Prime Minister of St. Lucia recently confirmed that individuals have lost their lives in a United States-led counter-narcotics operation.
And remember, this is the Global TV News Desk. We're not doing anybody's content. We're doing our news. All right? So you're aware of our website. You're aware of our app. Both the link to our website and our app is pinned in the channel. That's where all of our print news get published to. We put out a clip on Facebook with a leading link to the website. So we hope you continue to support, because we are sure Glean and the all of them say news not belong to them.
Targeting a drug trafficking vessel in the Caribbean. The announcement has reignited long-standing debates about the scope of U.S. counter-drug activities in regional waters and concerns over alleged continuous violations of international law by U.S. authorities. The incident and regional reaction. While specific details about the strike remain limited, including the exact location, number of fatalities, and circumstances surrounding the engagement, the Prime Minister's statement underscores the human cost of efforts to combat drug trafficking in the Caribbean basin. The incident has prompted concern across the region, where many nations view their territorial waters and the broader Caribbean as areas requiring coordinated, collaborative security approaches rather than unilateral action. Alleged violations of international law. Critics argue that U.S. counter-narcotics operations in the region frequently run afoul of established international legal frameworks. Territorial sovereignty. Under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, coastal states have exclusive sovereignty over their territorial seas. Concerns persist that U.S. operations sometimes occur within or near these zones without proper authorization from the relevant coastal nation, potentially violating principles of territorial integrity. Use of force. International law strictly regulates the use of force, even in counter-narcotics contexts. Critics contend that lethal force is sometimes employed without sufficient attempt to disable vessels or ensure the safety of those on board, raising questions about compliance with standards that prioritize minimizing loss of life. Lack of regional oversight. Many Caribbean nations argue that U.S. operations often proceed with limited consultation or coordination with regional bodies like the Caribbean Community. This lack of collaboration is seen as undermining both national sovereignty and the ability of regional states to develop tailored, sustainable approaches to addressing drug trafficking and its root causes. Counterpoints and U.S. justification. The U.S. government has consistently defended its counter-narcotics efforts in the Caribbean, citing commitments to combat transnational crime that threatens both U.S. and regional security. U.S. officials argue that operations are conducted in accordance with international law, often with the consent of host nations, or in international waters where no single state exercises exclusive jurisdiction. They also emphasize that drug trafficking fuels violence, corruption, and economic instability across the region, justifying robust action to disrupt supply chains. Additionally, some regional states have partnered with the U.S. on counter-narcotics initiatives, recognizing the shared nature of the threat and the resources the U.S. can bring to bear in surveillance, interdiction, and law enforcement capacity building. The need for balanced, lawful approaches. The loss of life in the recent strike highlights the urgent need to address the tensions between counter-narcotics priorities and international legal obligations. While drug trafficking poses real and significant challenges for the Caribbean, these cannot be addressed at the expense of fundamental legal principles or human life. Moving forward, meaningful progress will require strengthened regional coordination through bodies like CARICOM to ensure counter-narcotics efforts reflect the priorities and sovereignty of Caribbean nations, clearer adherence to UN close and international humanitarian law in all operations, with independent oversight to ensure compliance, a greater focus on addressing the root causes of drug trafficking, including poverty, lack of economic opportunity, and demand in consumer markets, rather than relying primarily on interdiction and force. Conclusion. The Prime Minister's confirmation of fatalities in the U.S. strike serves as a stark reminder that security efforts in the Caribbean must balance effectiveness with accountability. Allegations of ongoing U.S. violations of international law demand serious examination, even as the shared goal of combating transnational crime remains critical. For the region to achieve lasting safety and stability, all actors must operate within the bounds of law while working collaboratively to address the complex challenges at hand.
The Caribbean cannot go on with this in silence. Violet Watson, Colleen Honodo. The Caribbean cannot continue in silence on this matter. People are dying. People's lives are at risk. You cannot give a green light to Donald Trump for killing people without evidence. But then when you look upon what is happening at home, it is exactly what Andrew Holness is doing. Suzette, how you do? I mean, a mad pedophile, rapist president gone mad, gone rogue, and everybody just capitulate, the Caribbean just on them knees. So everybody in silence and is watching the crucifixion continue and challenge. No, we know so we can't challenge America's wrath. But we have a voice. This is not the days when America alone you can do business with. Given what coming out of the Epstein file, the world shouldn't be doing business with America until we can be sure that America has been run by people who is not molesting, raping, and killing children. We're going to go to where name they now, Anthony Hilton and Lady Shirley. Because we're going to kind of push Dr. Tufton to the back because we have a whole heap of question for Christopher Tufton this morning. Because we see Christopher Tufton come out. All right, there's 3 videos coming up. We're now going to go to, we're going to do 2 articles and 1 video from Over Mom. Because why we bring this video from Over Mom? Lady Shirley came over Mom yesterday or whenever in relation to the Morant Bay Urban Center issue. Lady Shirley have it that a cause na Melissa and Beryl. No, the Urban Center opened months after Melissa. Melissa come June 2024. June 2024, July 2024, June 2020, as June, yeah, June 2024. Then Urban Center still a work plan, having official opening plan, and they open in a 2025 May. All this time, they have all the time to do whatever they need to do before Melissa come and after Beryl come. If you want to get me upset, speak to me or us other people like we're fools. And this is what Lady Shirley came to Nationwide and do. But let us go to who upset me first is Anthony Hilton and the entire PNP. Because I want to find out from the PNP, when did you become aware that the Morant Bay Urban Center is incomplete?
Addressing questions around the Morant Bay Center and political accountability.
When did the PNP become aware of the incompleteness of Morant Bay Urban Center? This is why I'm saying the PNP are playing hypocrisy on this matter. Let me say, okay, they didn't know up until the 3rd of September last year. But after Rosemary Shaw was elected on the 3rd of September, is Rosemary Shaw and the People's National Party saying to us they've only been made aware of this? Let us listen to the article we did and then we'll come back. And the PNP, them are wicked and liar and hypocrite.
Addressing questions around the Morant Bay Center and political accountability, a critical analysis. The recent demand by opposition spokesman on industry Anthony Hilton for Prime Minister Andrew Holness to clarify reports on the Morant Bay Urban Center in St. Thomas raises important questions not just about the project itself, but about the nature of political accountability in Jamaica. While scrutiny of government initiatives is a core function of the opposition, this particular call warrants critical examination in light of the project's public timeline. The visible reality of an unfinished project. It was clear to observers at the time of the ribbon-cutting ceremony that the Morant Bay Center was not fully completed. Images from the event, local media coverage, and community discussions all documented that key elements of the urban center remained under construction. This was not hidden information. It was apparent to anyone who engaged with the project, including political representatives across the spectrum. For the People's National Party opposition to now call for clarification in response to a recent nationwide report suggests either a lack of attention to ongoing developments at the time or a strategic decision to raise concerns only when it serves political purposes. Accountability must be consistent. Political accountability cannot be selective. If the opposition believes transparency is critical for infrastructure projects, that standard should apply at all stages, not just when a report brings renewed attention to an issue. The Morant Bay Center was positioned as a flagship development for St. Thomas, designed to boost local economy and improve public services. When the ceremony was held before completion, it would have been appropriate for the opposition to raise questions then about timelines, budget allocations, and the rationale for marking a milestone before work was finished. Waiting until a later report surfaces undermines the credibility of concerns about accountability, framing them as reactive politics rather than principled oversight. The government's responsibility remains. That said, the Holness administration bears its own burden of accountability. While the incomplete state of the center was public knowledge, the government has an obligation to provide regular updates on progress, explain any delays or cost adjustments, and ensure that public funds are being used effectively. The fact that questions persist about the project's status indicates a failure to maintain consistent communication with the public and with oversight bodies. This lack of proactive transparency creates space for political maneuvering, allowing both sides to prioritize point scoring over delivering results for the people of St. Thomas. Moving beyond political posturing. The people of Jamaica deserve better than a cycle of delayed criticism and inadequate communication. The Morant Bay Center has the potential to be a transformative asset for the region, but only if all political actors focus on its successful completion rather than using it as a tool for political gain. The opposition should explain why concerns were not raised earlier and outline concrete steps it would take to improve infrastructure project management if in power. The government must commit to regular, detailed updates on the center's progress and address any legitimate questions about its delivery. True accountability requires both sides to apply consistent standards, act in a timely manner, and keep the public's interests at the forefront of their actions.
The PNP are playing hypocrisy. Everybody, this has been widely reported on from the day after the ribbon cutting. There was no secret that water, toilet facility, and electrical facility was not there. Everybody knew that from the day after. It has been widely publicized. The PNP, Rosemary Shaw, and Anthony Hilton, who should have been championing this day in, day out, have been silent. And now that nationwide come out and play politics, me don't know where Andrew Holness do nationwide. Nationwide have come out like them a break news. Nobody now break news. We have been having this discussion from last year, May, to now. The PNP are rather silent on it though, which they knew about it. So to come out now call for accountability for Andrew Holness, for me, it's hypocrisy. Tell us why you refuse to highlight it. Tell us why you don't have to wait till nationwide, break it as a story before you jump on it, because it has always been. That we've been tearing down Gram Smagan from last year, innit? That was the reason we've been tearing down Gram Smagan from last year. So PNP, you don't complain of hypocrisy with we. We come out here and champion these issues every day. All when you are asleep, all when you get on a salary and gone, all when you sign on an office of oath and walk off. We in a media land still a challenge these issues. But the PNP, you see, the PNP is hell-bent on getting clout in a mainstream media. And that are the PNP them problem. Them hell-bent on getting clout in a mainstream media. So it make them a go on, like I say, there is something to see here and there's something to talk about here. Why you never see it and talk about it from time? Why no? It's playing politics. It's scoring political points. And that's not what we elected
the Morant Bay
PNP for. We elected them to represent us, to stay on the critical issues that we are on every day. 2 times a day, we come out here and we depend the same galang in them. We expect the PNP them to do it. You know, see Rosemary Shaw post nothing on our Facebook about the debacle at Morant Bay Urban Center from September to now. You know, see her here, nothing from Anthony Hilton from September to now. And now because nationwide talk, them a jump up and a go on like them concerned. You're not concerned, don't come out here complaining of politics in front. I come we call on you out. Me is not one we hug up and love up with people. We will call on you out. We will tell you about your hypocrisy. Don't play the game there with we. Don't go on like you don't care about we until only when you hear people we don't go on like you don't care. Look how long we out here talk about it. So when nobody from in the PNP never hear, or because we're not mainstream, nobody never see when we talk about it. Hypocrisy. Before the election, everybody knew it was an election gimmick. Everybody knew it was an election gimmick. So when the PNP them have come go on like them think, them think it did up in operational. No. Then you have Lady Shirley here. She came for an interview and she spoke a whole bunch. But let's listen to our article on the disconnect between him timeline, because he might blame the two hurricane, or him will fall in between the two hurricane. I don't know how the two hurricane get fit trouble him so far apart. You understand? But let's listen to our article first. Then we'll go to him interview with moms.
The Morant Bay Urban Center, a critical look at accountability amidst hurricane impacts. The Morant Bay Urban Center in St. Thomas was officially opened on May 15, 2025, with Factories Corporation of Jamaica Chairman Littleton Shirley stating it was complete and ready for occupancy, with remaining work to be finished concurrently during a 3-month rent-free build-out period for tenants. However, nearly a year later, in February 2026, the facility still lacks basic utilities like electricity and water, has unresolved sewage issues, and most commercial spaces remain unhanded over. In an interview on Nationwide, Shirley reportedly blamed hurricanes for the delays, despite the center opening after Hurricane Beryl and before Hurricane Melissa. The timeline disconnect. Hurricane Beryl passed south of Jamaica as a Category 4 storm in July 2024, causing flooding, power outages, and infrastructure damage in St. Thomas, including blocked roads and disrupted water supply. But construction on the urban center continued after Beryl, and the opening was scheduled for May 2025, nearly 10 months later. Hurricane Melissa, a catastrophic Category 5 storm that struck western Jamaica in October 2025, caused widespread destruction, but primarily affected parishes like St. Elizabeth and Westmoreland, with limited impact on St. Thomas compared to the west. This timeline raises questions about how storms that occurred either well before or after the center's opening could be the primary cause of its ongoing incompleteness. Can hurricanes explain the utility and facility shortfalls? While hurricanes can disrupt infrastructure, the specific issues at the Morant Bay Urban Center require scrutiny. Electricity. Both Beryl and Melissa caused widespread power outages across Jamaica, with Beryl affecting hundreds of thousands of households and Melissa leaving 77% of the island without power initially. However, utility restoration efforts typically prioritize critical infrastructure and commercial developments. If the center's electrical systems were not fully installed or connected before opening, post-hurricane delays in grid restoration could exacerbate issues, but this does not explain why connections were not in place at the time of the ribbon cutting. Water. Flooding from Beryl damaged water infrastructure and disrupted supply in St. Thomas, with about 70% of customers affected nationally. Similarly, Melissa damaged water systems in western parishes, but St. Thomas faced less severe impacts. Water outages can also stem from broken mains, corrosion, or poor planning, factors unrelated to hurricanes. The center's lack of water connection may be due to incomplete internal plumbing or delays in linking to the national water network, rather than storm damage alone. Proper facilities. The absence of intended facilities is part of the project's original timeline, not a result of hurricane damage. While storms can delay construction materials delivery or on-site work, Phase 2 was set to commence after the initial opening, meaning these gaps were planned and not caused by weather events. Questions of accountability. Opposition spokesperson Anthony Helton has criticized the project as a public relations stunt and fiscal irresponsibility, noting that small business operators who invested in anticipation of the opening have faced significant financial losses. Shirley has defended the early opening as strategic planning, arguing that concurrent work with tenant build-outs is standard in commercial development. However, the gap between the promised timeline and current reality, coupled with the attribution of delays to hurricanes that do not align with the project's timeline, raises concerns about transparency and accountability in public infrastructure projects. Moving forward, it is essential for the FCJ to provide a clear breakdown of the factors contributing to the delays, including the role of pre-existing construction challenges, post-hurricane recovery priorities, and any budget overruns.
Me want to listen to somebody lie. What Factory Corporation, Lady Shirley tell Cliff Hughes. And these are the people that the people we elect put in position of power and authority.
11, and I
And
gather we
whenever
have
time
again
things go wrong,
Mr. Shirley. Mr.
all
Shirley,
they do is come out,
chairman of the
lie to us, and speak to us like we're fools. Listen to Lady Shirley explanation and doubling down that the center is operationally complete.
Factories Corporation of Jamaica. You were about to answer my questions. Why is it that the FCJ says it's not in a position to issue certificates for your tenants to occupy the building units now? And why JPS and NWC have not been sorted out?
Firstly, as I said earlier, let us step back a bit. We had 2 major hurricanes. These buildings that we have built have been ready for occupancy for built out 8 months ago. JPS had to withdraw their activities on the site because of burial for 4 months.
Oh, Paloy!
Off the site. When they did come back to continue working on the site, there comes Melissa. They have since Melissa, they have been off the site for 3 months, going into 4 months. Just 2 weeks ago, they have been back on the site. Being back on the site, if there are issues that they are resolving now for.
Miss sorry for Beryl and Melissa, you know. The amount of blame them going to have to go take, them wish them never enter Jamaica space.
For instance, putting up transformers, all that should have been done a long time ago. We have been very, very supportive of JPS, and JPS have been very supportive of us. And I understand that in a situation for national interest in the well-being of lives, that doing commercial activities while people's lives are at stake, JPS rightfully.
We don't know where Lady Shirley talks.
Concentrate on areas where the countries that are the areas in which that have been affected by hurricane would need their immediate attention.
However, Mr. Mitchell, burial was July 2024.
Yes.
The center was officially opened by the Prime Minister in May of 2024. May, June, and then burial would have struck 2.5, 3 months later. Why did you have your Prime Minister open the center and the electrical infrastructural works were not completed?
Let us understand fully how commercial activities operate.
Yes.
Right? It would not be prudent for a developer that wants in good faith to give their clients a 3-month rental-free built-out period, would wait until everything is 100%, then bring them in to start their built-out period. A typical example you would have seen of KFC, what they did.
They had to use a generator.
Yeah, they use a generator because it was required by generator. A lot of these built-out period effect that the clients take, some of them could be done off-site, some of them can be done on-site. If they are working, for instance, a lot of the work, a small generator, we had allow all our clients have access for generator input during that period.
Look how the man make fool of himself.
You have to understand how business also, which you do, operate. Everybody's waiting to see, particularly smaller businesses, they want to see the government entities and all activities.
Nobody can tell Mr. Shirley not cheat. This is how cheating man talk to them woman. You never finish a sentence and you never respond to the question.
It is taking place on the site to support their businesses.
Yes,
unfortunately, due to the the bureaucracy in which government entities, and I must say, amount to 15 entities, for which represent 53% of the space occupied at the Mottley Urban Center, had to go through a series of processes to facilitate the lease arrangement that is required.
Yes, but Mr.
Let me
No,
finish.
hold it, Mr. Shirley, because when you speak of an urban center where the tenants as a basic need, power and water, and the power was not in to a point where 2.5 months since the opening, before Beryl struck, you still didn't have the power. Here we are 10 months later, and I take the point, the JPS would have been diverted after Melissa, which struck on October 28th last year. I think that we can take, but not before. Yeah, and the difficulty this morning that you are having, and I dare say the Prime Minister is having, is we handed over the units.
Chris, I'm hearing you loud and clear. And I'm saying to you, at the point at which we handed over the units, we gave a built-out period for the client to commence their built-out period.
What does that have to do with you providing water and electricity and toilet facility? Jesus, answer the question, you cheating man.
A lot of them did not take up that opportunity. Some did, some held back, right? Of which we have no control. We have not to date collected rent from any client at the Mottley Urban Center. What we have done, those who have signed lease agreement, we give them built-out period. We ask them to put deposits, but no rent has been charged because we're waiting on JPS to finalize. And you must remember now, okay, we have a power plant at this site. It's easy for you to say you just come and connect JPS. To facilitate a power plant that distributes not only electricity for the campus, but for the entire community, which also happens to be the same issue with water. A lot of things, you can't just go there and disconnect the unit. We have to do it on a phased basis. It has to be done in such a way that it does not disrupt 22 communities that the power plant that is on the site service. There's a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of cost connected to that. We have paid out over $200 million to JPS to facilitate this phased approach and to give us electricity.
So, Mr. Shirley, there's a lot of work to be done. You've paid out over 200 million. Simply put, therefore, the urban center should not have been opened when it was. You were not ready. You were not ready.
I disagree with you, Cliff.
But
we were ready.
Why would you disagree with me? You just said it.
Because
a lot of work to be done. Huh?
Because we have, for instance, Cliff, since Melissa, we have given our clients additional 2 months rental fee to do their built-out period because of we understood and empathized.
The man you go mad with built-out period and we don't know what I mean.
Electricity, and we also respect the serious work, the committed work that JPS has been doing outside of our jurisdiction.
Hold on there. My understanding of built-out period, enough to do the retrofittings, all of the retrofittings what you need to put in the building for your business operate. And that thing called the built-out period in it, how that have anything to do with water, light, and toilet? Then we put in a position of power anyway for say them bright.
Was the Prime Minister aware that a lot of work was still to be done and that the center was not going to be in a position to have those units built out for months, almost a year?
No, Cliff, you're straying from the point.
No, I'm not.
Electricity. When you say a lot of work, electricity does not connotate a lot of work.
Oh?
So
why did it take...
Why not done yet then? Why it not done yet? Electricity doesn't take... Hey, Jesus. I tell them to shut their mouth, you know. Because when they open their mouth, they tend to get themselves in a more problem.
Why is it taking you so long?
I have no control over JPS. I explained to you, Cliff.
JPS, you don't need to come out and defend on yourself, but then I get like, you don't get the little money bar. The little bar of money. JPS, the little bar of money may shut up, but me feel so if you come out, you can talk for the side of this story. JPS, wagwan you so sound too convoluted. Make it up as it go along. And you know, Anansi's story, something there. Yeah. Anansi's story. And Ongo Anansi could have come with something like this, yeah. Where Lady Shirley turn up with. No, sir. Lady Shirley dangerous.
That is 2 hurricanes diverted JPS.
And I pointed out to you, that the first of those 2 hurricanes, Beryl, occurred, came up on Jamaica 3 months after you opened. 3 months.
Yes. And I agree with you, but I also, Cliff, just be understandable a little bit, because I know you have the knowledge. It takes time to do the work that JPS ought to have done. To face the putting up transformers, ensuring that the power plant that is on our side does not go blank to affect the wider communities. So they had to order, put in place 7 different locations for transformer plant. They are on site right now. They have confirmed that being back on site by the end of this month, going into the first week of next month.
Sir, may I tell you something? Try not to do anything when nobody has to put you upon witness stand. You hear? Try your best. Don't go upon witness stand.
All the times will be able to have a certification to go and access electricity. Remember also, okay,
they will hold on. Let us get that clear. By the end of the month, what will happen?
Into the first week of next month, the APS would have powered the plant, the campus, to allow clients to have access to electricity. And remember now, clients that have been sitting on the side that has not completed their build out cannot have a facility to have JPS connect unless they do their build out. JPS come and sanction that whatever they have done is fit and proper to give them certification to hook up to the electricity.
And how many?
So we have been pleading with our clients that have signed lease agreements and has not started the build out period to start that now. That should have started long time ago.
How many such clients do you have, Mr. Shirley?
Okay, we have 16 such clients that have signed a lease and have not started.
And how many units do you have in all?
We have 81 units in all. 63 units have been assigned. 18 is in negotiation. And after that 18, after 63, 15 are standalone buildings that are occupied by government entities. Right.
And
a lot of the clients 16 of the clients also had commenced and almost completed their built-out period.
And where water is concerned, what has been the holdup?
Again, Chief, this is misinformation because water was always on the site. 7 days ago, China Harbor Check went to disconnect the lines that were constructed and given to them under the construction to now align it with a metering system from NWC, right? In doing that transfer, many pipes had to be redirected. And also, based off our client's demand, instead of having one major water supply unit, we are giving each client their own metering system, right?
Mm-hmm.
NWC, we have been working with, I must say they have been very supportive of everything on the site. And on that site, you must also remember that we have a water supply unit that also supplies 22 different units from some of the wells that we have on the site. Again, most of the piping had to be reconnected, redirected based off the construction. And they are on site presently to ensure that today water will come back on the site, having done the adjustments to the lines that Czech would have disconnected due to their contractual arrangements.
Have you heard from the Prime Minister since the story broke, Mr. Shirley?
The Prime Minister has always been communicating with us.
No, I'm talking since this story broke this morning.
I sent him the message. He had
What story broke? What story broke? What story broke? The widely available public knowledge? What broke story I talk about? The widely available public knowledge where everybody knew the day after the urban center was open onwards. What kind of story broke, Cliff? Boy, may I tell you, my man, I make a total big fat fool of himself. Me never see somebody fool so in my life yet. But I don't go, oh, police now have to question him for nothing. Our prosecutor don't have to question him for witness stand because if I saw him a go to prison and nobody has sent him and him has sent his own self to prison because nothing what he said was related to the question when mom asked him about. Nothing at all. In just come
Dr. Tufton's health cooperation plans, navigating U.S. pressure.
In just come with a set of convoluted story in our head. In coming like the robot them where they having a customer service over here where they make up answer give them and for them answer it cannot be related to your question because the answer is a preset answer to Lord God. I used to hate when I in an administration and I receive a complaint and rather than I type and respond back to what the person is querying, I have to go up on the company website and go take off a template that they set as a response to such query, and then I would just have to maybe alter it a little bit and send it. I can't just send out of my head, so I can't just respond out of my head. So the man ya come, the preset answer them when no serve no purpose to the current issue at hand. The dog returns to its vomit. The dog is returning to its vomit. We remember the whole Cuban crisis when Marco Rubio come to Jamaica and everything went sour and puffed and tell we him going here, him going there, him going all over the place. Let's listen to our article, and then on the other side, we have questions. Questions, questions for Dr. Tufton this morning. Dr. Tufton will take holiday upon with money. Dr. Tufton will take holiday upon with money, say, I'm going to recruit this and recruit that. And now the dog turned back around to him vomit.
Dr. Tufton's health cooperation plans, navigating U.S. pressure, diversification efforts, and uncertain outcomes. Jamaica's Health and Wellness Minister, Dr. Christopher Tufton, recently confirmed that negotiations are underway for a new health memorandum of understanding with Cuba, even as the United States ramps up pressure over the long-standing medical cooperation program. This development comes alongside questions about the status of last year's announcement to recruit healthcare workers from India, the Philippines, and Ghana, initiatives framed as contingency measures after U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called for Cuban medical personnel to leave Jamaica. Renegotiating with Cuba amid U.S. scrutiny. The current MOU with Cuba expired, though nearly 300 Cuban doctors and specialists remain in Jamaica under existing contracts, with services including eye care and hospital support continuing as talks proceed. Jamaica's partnership with Cuba spans over 50 years and has been a cornerstone of its public health system, but renewed U.S. pressure led by Rubio, a longtime critic of Cuba's overseas medical missions, has cast a shadow over the program. Washington has accused the initiative of involving forced labor and human trafficking, claims rejected by Cuba, Jamaica, and other Caribbean leaders, who emphasize the program's compliance with international labor laws and critical role in addressing healthcare gaps. The U.S. has threatened visa restrictions for officials linked to the program, with Grenadian Finance Minister Dennis Cornwall among those targeted in 2025, and similar pressure reported across the region. While Prime Minister Andrew Holness has stated that Jamaica ensures Cuban workers are treated in line with local labor laws, the negotiations for a new MOU are described as lengthy and ongoing, with undisclosed outstanding requests from Jamaica potentially complicating a final deal. The recent departure of some Cuban medics, including a respected orthopedic surgeon at Kingston Public Hospital, has highlighted the risks of disruption to patient care if the program is scaled back. Critics argue that the U.S. pressure risks undermining Jamaica's sovereignty to determine its own health partnerships, while supporters of Washington's stance point to reports from some former Cuban medical workers alleging exploitation, such as passport confiscation and salary deductions by Cuban authorities. This divide underscores the challenge Dr. Tufton faces in balancing diplomatic relations with the U.S. against Jamaica's urgent healthcare needs. Last year's recruitment drive, mixed progress. In February 2025, Dr. Tufton announced plans to explore recruiting healthcare workers from India, the Philippines, and Ghana, framing the initiative as a way to diversify Jamaica's health workforce amid high turnover, with 500 nurses having left the system since 2018 and potential disruptions to the Cuban program. While local recruitment remains a priority, the minister noted that international hires would be considered if gaps persist, citing the Philippines' reputation as a major exporter of healthcare professionals on a per capita basis. To date, progress has been uneven across the three countries. An MOU with the Philippines was signed in February 2025, covering not only the deployment of healthcare workers, but also faculty exchanges, specialist training, and knowledge sharing in areas like epidemiology and healthcare management. A joint technical working group was established to implement the agreement, with clinical rotation opportunities for Jamaican staff in Philippine hospitals also planned. However, specific details on the number of Filipino workers deployed or set to arrive have not been publicly disclosed. For India and Ghana, there is limited public information on the status of recruitment efforts. While Ghana has active physician recruitment services available, no formal agreements or updates on hires for Jamaica have been announced. Similarly, discussions with India appear to have not advanced to a public stage, raising questions about whether these components of the diversification plan have been deprioritized in favor of strengthening ties with Cuba or focusing on the Philippine partnership. The launch of Jamaica's first health labor market analysis in June 2025, supported by PAHO.WHO, suggests a shift toward data-driven workforce planning, which could inform future recruitment strategies by identifying specific gaps and retention challenges. However, the slow pace of progress on the India and Ghana initiatives leaves Jamaica still heavily reliant on Cuban personnel, even as U.S. pressure intensifies. Challenges and the path forward. Dr. Tufton's dual focus on renewing ties with Cuba and diversifying recruitment reflects the complex realities of Jamaica's healthcare landscape. The country faces a persistent shortage of skilled workers, exacerbated by migration to higher income countries, and must balance short-term needs with long-term efforts to build a sustainable local workforce. The negotiations with Cuba will need to address both Jamaica's requirements for expanded services and potential concerns raised by the US, though it remains to be seen whether a new MOU can satisfy all parties. Meanwhile, the limited progress on recruiting from India and Ghana highlights the challenges of establishing international partnerships quickly enough to offset potential losses from the Cuban program. Ultimately, the success of Dr. Tufton's plans will depend on Jamaica's ability to assert its sovereignty in health policy decisions, secure reliable sources of healthcare workers, and invest in training and retaining local professionals. Without meaningful progress on these fronts, the country risks continuing cycles of dependency and vulnerability to external pressures.
I don't know about you, but I have at least 3 questions for Dr. Tufton. And if you have questions for Dr. Tufton, you can put them in the chat. Because this is the scandal what Cliff used them for a talk about rather than Morant Bay Urban Center. This is the scandal what Cliff used for a talk about. Dr. Tufton, this fancy fair of a recruitment jive that you went here, there, and all over the place. Could you tell the taxpayers of Jamaica how much that unfruitful, that fruitless tree, Dr. Tufton, how much did it cost the taxpayers of Jamaica for your fanciful grand fair, your employment drive internationally? What are the issues, Dr. Tufton, that is preventing a progression of that recruitment drive, that international fancy fair recruitment drive that you went on? Does it have anything to do with pay and working condition that Jamaica cannot or isn't adhering to? Now that we see that you return to Cuba, after the memorandum of understanding run out, and wanna take whatever Marco Rubio say, and wanna never make the decision based on few interests, few national interests, or few social and health interests. It never make pan that, it make pan Marco Rubio rant and rave. Now, the new stipulations, Dr. Tufton, that Jamaica has put forward in the new memorandum of understanding that is holding up an agreement, are those stipulations based on the Americans, or are those stipulations based on the Jamaica government? And what are the changes, Dr. Tufton, to this memorandum of understanding as to the previous one that run out last year? These are questions that Dr. Tufton needs to answer, because our healthcare is being deprived of decent specialists. What are you trying? Lynette said, what are you trying to achieve, Dr. Tufton? What are you trying to achieve? Because it's just a wild goose. The ministry is on a wild goose chase. Because all of this money with Dr. Tufton put into going to Ghana, Philippines, India, Nigeria, and wherever, how much that costs with Dr. Tufton and how much it could contribute to NHS national health supplies? If it is, Dr. Tufton, that our standard isn't suitable to have these international employment deals sign off, and a Cuba alone we have to turn to, what are the new stipulations put forward? Because the new stipulations, as it stands, Dr. Tufton, would sit in the way of Jamaicans receiving qualified and adequate health care. Though that sounds like a foreign language, don't you think? Qualified and adequate. That really sounds like a foreign language. Speaking foreign language over here. But Dr. Tufton have questions to answer. This is the breaking news that is happening in our country at the moment. This is the breaking news that is happening in our country at the moment. No. Another question, Dr. Tufton. Is the government then prepared to go head-to-head with Marco Rubio on this issue? Is Dr. Tufton and the JLP government saying, we are ready now to give up our visa. We're going to choose your health above our visa? Or is it the case, Dr. Tufton, that you have no other choice but Cuba? Isn't it, Dr. Tufton? Wouldn't you agree with us that the reason why the dog returned to its vomit is because there's nothing else to eat? Not even shit, Dr. Tufton, because you know dog eat that in it. So Dr. Tufton found you see the dog return to his vomit. That alone shouldn't tell you what go on. So move the new barrier. We're in our way, Dr. Tufton. Tufton with the DR title. Tufton with the 80-pound waterfront. You know, we need for old girl there and corner and salt or put on. And cut her off piece. And put in our peas soup when we are cook peas soup because we pay too much money. We pay too much money for the Brahman cow and can't make salt beef out of it. But that's a side story anyhow. But Dr. Tufton have questions to answer. We cannot allow Dr. Tufton to keep dragging down with health care behind him so. And we go on like say we not care. We go on like say it not affect we. We go on like say we not turn up a hospital with buck to and come out in a body bag. Are you happy, Jamaica? Are you happy that we don't have ambulance to call? Are you happy that your local hospital doesn't have the required diagnostic? And you have to go in a one car on a bumpy road, probably in a pain where would have better off if you lay down and sit down. But you have to hook up in a one car on a bumpy road and hitch up and jump and throw up in the ear and come back down and to the bad road them in your sick self to get to the a nearby diagnostic center run by a private person, maybe attached to government. You see how it go? Everybody make a dash out of it. They make a dash out of with sickness. They make a killing out of with death. I mean, we're no use to them healthy, you know. Have you ever sit and work it out for yourself? We're no use to them healthy or alive. Wouldn't I go wake up and realize, say, you are no use to these people healthy or alive? Them love when we sick and dead, you know. When we sick and dead, and money, upper people get rich out of sickness and dead. That's why Epstein and his scientists, them sit down and create all sorts. That's why Epstein and his scientists, them can sit down and create all sorts. Them love when we sick and then love when we dead. Why you think they mash up agriculture in Jamaica and care Bill Gates genetically modify them congiwi? Why you not think we then tap with them common foal and a grow foal in a lab? They love when we sick and dead. But we no love sick and dead too, you know. We love the sickness and the deadness too. Because everything they throw out away. See they all go on a cuff no on a hand. The whole on a line up down a KFC. And when you come out, the whole on just had a big casket in on a hand. So I want see so no waist gone. Uno see say uno can barely breathe, uno have to walk slow because uno have belly batty and everything. Look on the man them belly at Jamaica. I never see big belly in my life so yet. Everybody a judge belly now. Everybody a walk and judge belly and things say judge belly a style. And things say judge belly, alright, you're alright, and you look good and life agree with you. Yes? So Jamaica people think when you walk on judge belly, then think to say life agree with you. You look good, I say you fat and look good. Jamaica, we need to wake up out of the F-free. We're too deep in this friggery. And all when you say Epstein file and dash thank God for Donald Trump. And make us say thank God for the idiot because Donald Trump is a useful idiot and you must understand how useful idiots operate. No other president, barring an idiot like Donald Trump, would have planned to release the Epstein file. Biden wouldn't promise you that. You know what I mean? Because they have people they are protecting. But an idiot like Donald Trump, which the schoolboy bully who boasts around on the play field that I am that I am. He promised, and it shed a light. And while it has shine light, the whole on put an over on her face and all on her face down. Epstein file is shining a light, and rather than grace the light where shine. You put on an over on her face and all on her face down. Jamaica is so silent on the child abuse and the child rape, given we are a country where we pick them go so missing every so often. And we hear say Epstein and Donald Trump and Bill Clinton and Andrew Mountbatten them a kill children, rape children, and eat children. And the whole on no quiet. Whole on no quiet. Like duct tape over on the mouth. Duct tape over everybody's mouth. Because nobody no want to lose them visa. Nobody no want nobody look upon them sideways. Stare me straight in the face, you bloody child abusers. Will you still shake these people's hands? Will you still vote for them? Will you still treat them as the elites, or rather treat them as the trash of society that they are? Are you going to cut the bullshit, people? Enough of it. Enough of it. Why you think Floyd Green and Tufton mash up agriculture? Why you think Floyd Green and Tufton was given the job to destroy Southwest St. Elizabeth? Why you think Floyd Green and Tufton was given the job to destroy fisheries in Southwest Jamaica? You think these people are idiots? They know fully well what they're doing. Why you think Dr. Tufton have shares in funeral parlor or Dr. Tufton's friend is running? It's not an accident, you know. It's all carefully planned. It's all carefully planned. Why you think them locate the country with gun? Did the police them in America not say they have evidence that Jamaica police are in organ harvesting and human trafficking? Should we not be asking the question with these exposure of Jamaican authorities and human and organ trafficking? Should we not be asking the question of the Jamaica Constabulary Force? We'll go around, go shoot down innocent people picnic, like they did with Jamar Ferguson, like they did with Leighton Nemard Bigger Than, like they did with that young man Alonzo in Santa Cruz just recently. Is the Jamaica Constabulary Force still carrying out organ harvesting with these summary execution that the Jamaica Constabulary Force regularly carries out in our court? We need to ask these questions. Why do you think crime and corruption get so prevalent around us? Because we stayed too quiet for long. We stayed quiet because we say, we don't want them come kill we don't want them come burn down. They still kill when a burn down we also. Why just let them burn down your house with the knives? Because if all of us decide to continue to stay quiet, it's only gonna get worse. But if all of us decide to stand up and root it out, they have to change or find somewhere else to go. If there anywhere else to go, if all of us decide that we don't want you all around us. But we cherish them. We nurture them. We allow them to become our dancing gangs and area leaders, we stupid mother heifers. How could we as a people hand over our power to other idiots that call themselves human beings like us? How could we? What a load of silence. What a load of silence. Don't even bother talk about the dirty mainstream media, because them barely talk about the Epstein file, because only for them, only for the media them is well connected to the Murdochs, the Epsteins, and the long-time Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father. So this pedophile ring, I know today, I know yesterday, ask Elizabeth Mountbatten, ask Jimmy Savile, ask Lord Mountbatten, Uncle Dickie. So how dare Charles come out here, come go on like say this is an Andrew issue? How dare you, Charles, you who was with Lady Sarah, and then you met the younger sister Diana? Charles Mountbatten, the family of pedophiles and wrong-uns. This is not an Andrew problem, Charles. This is not a Lord Mount. This is not a Lord Manderson's problem. This is an institutional problem in Britain. This is how the British Empire started out, with rapage, pillage, and murder. How dare you go on like Andrew is any worse than anybody in the royal family, you bastard, Charles Mountbatten. Anyway, one's gonna go about their business now. Enough rot and ranting and raving for this man. But how dare they? How bloody dare they? Especially Charles. Well, nobody knows Charles not a character. Charles married Counselor was Britain's worst prolific pedophile. And Charles had the nerve to go on like Andrew did. What has Andrew done that Elizabeth and Charles and Uncle Dickie has not done? Charles? What it is that Andrew has done that Elizabeth, Jimmy Savile, and Uncle Dickie, the man who raised you, Charles Mountbatten, the pedophile who raised you while your mother and father was out during royal duty. How dare you, you bloody snake. Anyway, go and do your business before Charles start fire bullet through your window. Thank you all for being here this morning. The app to our print news and our website is pinned in the description area of the all channels, so you can support our website and support our app. The membership to our app is free, so you may want to become a member before we start doing paid membership. So thank you all for being here this morning. Lovely to have your support as usual. Please do join us back this evening for the people's point of view. Thank you very much. Good morning and good afternoon from Global TV.
Touch! said, oh, run, keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just as I and I as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel.
And good in a lady book, sometimes the blood pressure dance about, but other than that, I'm okay.
Day or night, we gonna bust down Babylon walls, prepare and read the way, prepare and read the way for your people. Let's go! Fight down war and crime, fight down war and crime. Say Rastafari, war and crime. And do the righteousness, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, save all people. And we love Jah, we love Jah, Rastafari, we love Jah, Rastafari, save all people. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. So just as I and I as a watchman around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I and I should never hold thy peace while we penalize. Day or night, we gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare and read the way, prepare and read the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and crime, fight down war and crime. Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. And we love Jah, me love Jah, me love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. Me love Jah, Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight, and then DJ Twink.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.